Project Creedbreaker is a first-person shoot 'em, blast 'em, slice their cars into pieces using the strength of a Japanese swordsman, only to find out your mortality through the most complex and specific situation you thought was impossible to get stuck into. In this experience, you and 5 other robbers attempt home invasion inside of the Scarlet King's lair, who just got hands on the warp dimension from the hit game war construction tool 40,000, and plans to intoxicate everyone by taking over humanity like they're playing Plague Inc. You are a merc, the most expendable unit of your field, dying faster than a helldiver, but withstanding more than Wolverine. You have the ability to run pretty much anything into a pile of ash, just like Bloody Mary herself, or be thrown into the Pear Wiggler because it didn't look both ways before crossing.
Did you kill it?
The possibilities in this game of character stat customization are almost endless. But it also requires a PhD in probability models of paranormal claims to understand how to become the average American homeowner. I sold my only secondary. Or be able to entirely skip a boss's phase simply because you walked slightly faster than light. But to better understand how to create your perfect Genshin character, we will have to visit the basics first. After being deported into the anomalous occult foundation in a strange-looking black van, you will be flashbanged by the debrief screen, where you can see who is actively violating OSHA and who's fixing their skill decks like they're rebuilding a house. In the menu, you can do various things, such as sitting until you're sent into the next match, buy from the Resident Evil shopkeeper, where you can customize your uniform, voice lines, and firearms that you will use to cast away the horrors of man. There's also a firing range to test the fury of your guns, which you can actively refuse to shoot any of by the power of a single skill or absolutely crash your game from the copious amount of bullet casings you leave behind. I seriously hope this company is government funded. And lastly, the armory, where the magic happens and you get absolutely curb stomped by words and meanings your feeble brain cannot comprehend unless you're in some way.
It's a double pistol.
We'll talk about the armory way later, since until you've reached at least a rank of 20 Brazilian, you won't be able to unlock anything. So just pick the goofiest or most serious name and complain that your gun does the equivalent damage of a Pop-Tart when shot out of the toaster. If you do end up accepting to be deployed, you will be magically sent into a helicopter, or a van, that hasn't crashed yet given my absurdly bad luck, where you will glide off and be sent to the affected area. There are a total of 8 torture simulations where you will be casually sent to with your Minecraft extermination and rebuilding competition colleagues. Your job is to restabilize the anomalous fields, otherwise known as the Honkai Star Rail train station that connects our reality with the world of Stalker. You must do all this, of course, with 2 minutes less than the 50/20 Ultimate Custom Night session the game will make you speedrun. Hey Goose, you gotta... You fucking moron. The timer, if it weren't obvious already, goes down. But don't worry! With your very original and brand new iPhone 4, you will be blasting Mouse's new album directly amplified by the anchors. Marvels of engineering that spawn inside of the operating field, like a construction crane appearing out of thin fucking air, will obliterate the chronically unlike God's eardrums. With these anchors, you will add time to the impending doom you will face. Otherwise, you get to discover right. The timer has a limit, much like your sanity, and the voice you will need to scream at your technician because they placed him in laser mines like a fucking lunatic.
Hey, what the fuck are you doing? No, that's completely useless there. Nothing's gonna hit. Stop it.
This limit is set to 2 minutes and 30 seconds, meaning that the timer cannot go above that threshold. Even if it does not though, the Black Friday horde surely does not stop pushing. And every time you either kill enough Mr. Beast contestants, or by patiently waiting, you will raise the hazard level. A fancy word meaning that your money after pulling off the heretic's testicle for the challenge will rise. Every 10 levels, you achieve the Fortnite Campfire Rest, where you and your pals will get ready for the inevitable suffering that is slowly approaching, or get the fuck out as soon as possible and meet the debrief screen again. But why stop there? This game is fucking addictive and I encourage you to keep fighting. However, the enemies also get buffer, and are able to find Waldo at faster times, meaning that line of sight is nowhere needed at certain points. Your guns will end up doing absolutely fuck all and have the equivalent damage of a child wielding a weighted glove. But you're not bothered by that, unless you're alone. In that case, you're screwed. To cope with this, you will have to manage funds responsibly since the money is incredibly scarce, So scarce that the amount of online players of DayZ can be considered very generous, due to how low they pay you at the beginning. On top of that, once you perish on the field, you won't leave trace for your family to see, but instead you will drop your iPod tablet with all of your mech points on it, and anyone can easily steal it. But don't do that, please. It will seriously anger everyone. Now you can restock all of your equipment, or buy a new one, at the Merc Trader, a Killing Floor 2 station that remains in one fixed spot on the map, and it is usually the place everyone camps at like their 9-year-old cousin did on Modern Warfare 2. Inside of the Merc Trader, you can find very questionable weaponry, ranging from volatile Glocks and revolvers, to the kidney stone launcher, and the rifle that killed JFK. There are 5 sections, each one for a type of annihilation device you can use for the modest price of your kidney and a firstborn. Apart from primaries and secondaries, you can find equipment. Inside, you can find the byproduct of a company suffering from a slight issue of the Great Depression, a very highly realistic mine that surprisingly does not violate the human rights, the jar. Floating nanomachines.
Don't be fooled. I'm a man of science.
Actual performance-enhancing substances. And a throwable that is stronger than bullets. You also have melee weapons at your disposal. I will go way more in depth with them in a later video. However, I will teach you the basics in the simplest way possible. Every weapon can block all direct attacks. Does not matter if it's Gold Ship's Kick or pulling a Leon Kennedy and running away unharmed. You can and will block it, as long as you have enough stamina. You see, stamina is an indicator to how much you can get the fuck out of a situation and dash at the cost of it, or turn into the TOG. Apart from fists, you will get your knuckles broken the moment you approach an anomaly. And there are a total of 10 melee weapons that you can buy in the trader, and the secret one accessible through skill decks. Oh, yeah, and also that you can parry enemies by bashing if you time it right. After the melees come the special equipment. Designed to work as EpiPens to your allergies, these will save you from the toughest pinch. There are 4 at the time of making this video. The first one being the Tech Container. It is a deployable crate that allows you to get back all of your resources 3 separate times for the modest price of 300 credits. However, it can be broken easily, unlike the map stationary counterpart called Resupply Beacon. However, they need to be unlocked first before usage, and they are either placed in the best spot possible or absolute garbage. But it is most times a far better solution than to buy this. Afterwards, we have the life support. Combat medics have been really quiet, apart from Archangel, since this thing dropped. It is a gift from God. It grants you the ability to heal at an amazing 20 HP per second within its range, which, for reference, is just enough to make you tank almost a whole set of clouds without perks. However, it is breakable, and is one of the only 2 deployable healing radiuses. Still, recommended not to overuse this item, as it has a limited charge of 75 heals total. The grenade launcher is underrated. It's not very used, mainly due to it being way too costly, and the airstrike is a far better off choice. On top of that, the grenades do not go off at close distance, meaning you cannot shelf your belt. However, the explosion range on this thing is monstrous, and it is still fun to blast at the nearest convenience store. The airstrike is the last, and its usefulness can only be described as cunt blasting satisfaction. It is a 50 stud long set of explosions that deal a generous 2000 damage over an astronomically wide area. Hell, you can even tear reality itself by shooting inside buildings if done correctly. Because there is no way in hell that technology has evolved enough for me to tear through a wall the thickness of a full-grown human vertically. It is, however, one of the most expensive items in the shop, and has a global cooldown of 20 whole seconds, which does not feel like much, but trust me, the loudest thing that this laser can emit is a click. Before getting to know the inanimate objects you will use to flex the taxpayer money of the company that somehow managed to hire an Italian moron, we will have to understand who to fight in order to learn what can be a problem and what can be the end of your min-maxed Basements and Bosses character. The enemies, otherwise known as anomalies, are the main antagonist-ish of this futuristic lore that is explained better than whatever SCP article you may find. These flesh-eating meatbags are so full of rage that comparing them to a blood angel is an insult to their quality. And we have, oh, so many different flavors. We have the cannon fodder that will make your aim trainer look absolutely useless. The CIA agent the dog forgot to kill, its main ability being the two enemies that fill entirely different roles but look too fucking identical. Spy from Team Fortress 2, which can apply anti-heal. Actual walking rust bucket, which you can only backshot to kill.
My faith is my shield.
John Souls, and the 8 feet tall punching bag that will rock your shit if you underestimate them. And we have a big reason why we call them training dummies. There are also the evolved walkers. These are walkers that have a similar gimmick to their normal counterpart and will start appearing after House 20. We have slightly less cannon fodder, Pikachu. The last airbender is friendly fire on. The crack addict you gave $5 to, not Carnage.
Oh, that's D. I'll take care of it.
Spawn of the Unstoppable Force,
Bulldozer time.
Nightmare Fredbear, and the fucking Brick Walker. No, seriously, he's named that. Oh yeah, and the Yakuza Boy won't talk about him.
Ingentem inter demonas, gladium luciferi portat, sanguine numquam saciatus, post cedes et sacrificia, fames eius, manet eterna.
The Night Demon, also known as Gorleth the Destroyer, is a giant sonic OC that comes out of his cave, also known as the Dark Plane, to rob you of your social credit score, and absolutely demolish anyone below the rank of 100. When faced alone, this beast of an enemy is probably the easiest way to beat it, due to its ability to have more health the more players there are. Now, since it is a lazy shotgun that will chase you the moment you start blasting job applications with the anchors straight into its skull, you must start running faster than the SUV that's about to hit a sedan with a baby on the board sticker. This due to it choosing to exterminate the targets that deal most damage to it. Note though that it will have a period cramp and sustain a good amount of damage if they're not counteracting the abhorrent music with their scream. But to fuck you over again, it will adapt at low health, and it will activate sentient mode, meaning the anchors won't be effective anymore, and making it so your lazy ass can't just cheese the boss by reusing all anchors. However, if you still manage to defeat the horde of absolute monsters he summons, and himself the first time, he will trigger his second phase. In this state, he will initially turn on Gamer Rage and become invincible for 6 seconds, and sprint like it's the Olympic of 2009, and end by shadow stepping to your Minecraft location. He takes less damage, fully heals by double pumping insulin, but still takes a lot of harm from the JBL speakers that the engineers set up. And finally, he returns to his room to prepare for another fight. Oh, you'd think he'd die? No, he does not. He's only getting his onions ready and finishing his chewing gum packs because he will be ready to kick arse the next time he appears. After Wave 20, the game allows you the option to extract or to remain. If you choose the latter, then the enemies will be granted a mutation level, as well as the elite walkers, alongside the special rounds. There can either be an outage, where your flashlights and boss icons are completely gone. The swarm event, that will jack one specific anomaly spawn rate, and depending on which enemy it is, you will either get the equivalent of Botswana's PIL, or get spring locked. Then, there's a surge, which, the repulse, where all the walkers explode upon death, sending all their enemies to fucking Brazil. And finally, the obelisks. The obelisks are pillars of flesh that spawn on top of mercs and remain for 30 seconds. Approaching them will cause your health to be drained and a grave walker to be generated from them, causing you an Speaking of lobotomies, after the 30th hazard, you will be introduced to the 4x2 members who will first announce their arrival with a totally non-threatening text, and then begin to scream at your face until you inevitably die from cringe. And as of recording this video, there are 4 mini-bosses that can spawn every 40 seconds or so, and will stack if you do not kill them fast enough.
The Avenger sought worthy prey, a conduit to release some of its eternal wrath, and collaborating with it, it found solace in combat against a heroine that was soon to be working alongside. Though it's yet to recover from its wounds, it looked forward to the next batch of unsuspecting prey, eager for another hunt.
First off, the Grave Mother. What the fuck? What? She's named Nemesis now? Uh-huh. She is probably the most annoying boss to deal with due to her insane swing speed and ability to straight up target a merc and the one that does the most damage. Combine it with armor and the ability to, just like her older brother Leonardo da Vinci, scream and nullify or damage, she is one heavy beast to take out. Thank fuck that this enemy does not take damage only from the targeted mercs. Right? Either way, she's truly a...
The Juggernaut barely wins as the blade tore through her armor and into her shoulder. Hot lead spewed from her submachine gun as she desperately held the Avenger back from mauling the rest of her teammates. It was only after being completely bisected that she let the Avenger through, an impressive showing that would soon provide inspiration for it.
Oh, so you left the fridge open, and, well, now it's gonna come to get you. The Smeg Smug Smort Fridge... Who the fuck... The Smeg Smug Smort Fridge... Mommy, sorry... is a Class B anomaly that is capable of air juggling you and combo your sorry ass back to HQ. Sometimes manipulates physics, she will trudge you through pretty much anything, and it is almost impossible to face tank for almost all builds, due to her ability to deal a flat 80 true damage. She has however 2 weaknesses, those being her slowness too, and emotional damage, but she'll most likely snap your spine the moment you talk shit.
The gunslinger blazed through countless rounds of ammunition, the barrels of his pistols searing with heat. Anomalies collapsed one by one in front of him, their bodies piling into an obscene mass. A moment later, he smelled scorched flesh behind him, and the last thing he ever saw was the Emperor's war cloud towering over him. His tenacity would earn its gaze.
The third is Gambit, a man of novel intelligence that will shoot you like you're a Detroit resident in 2020. He is incredibly fast and agile, he will literally corner camp you or pixel peek you, and much like Death from Puss in Boots, his sound cue is one of the most terrifying lock-on sounds due to his ability to deal 400 damage at close range, alongside a cripple. He is surprisingly tanky and very much underrated by the inexperienced and feared by even the highest ranks. And then, the fourth.
Inaccurate, for his kingdom had been usurped, sundered from his grasp by those who had shared in his prey. Bullets tore through his subjects like tissue paper, their smoldering ran out of weight of the rifle running. He returned to the dark blade, battered and broken, both a boiling vengeance, one that it would soon manipulate.
Scorched King is a beast and a huge target for anyone to aim at. They're not that strong of an enemy due to their low mobility, but they can be a huge area denial for you and your team if you're caught lacking, due to his ability to throw a wall of fire. Upon reaching wave 40, you must survive for 4 minutes and 20 seconds inside the Red Lobster Hotbox domain expansion. During this time, the fabulous mini-bosses and Vitamin Gummy enhanced Discord users will relentlessly drain your will to live and attempt to evict you from existence with same-day shipping. You are granted 20 seconds of grace at the start, along with the ability to halt all spawns for 10 seconds by activating the JBL speakers. This cooldown, however, cannot be stacked and only refreshed. Surviving is actually somewhat easier if you park yourself near the local technician. This is essentially a shotgun stage, where you and your team must fend off even more anomalies than usual. Survival is fairly likely unless you are cornered. However, if you do make it through, good job. Now start buying better gear. The entire point of this scenario is to teach you the importance of crowd control and how to deal with it in the future. On the 60th hazard, you will be forced to clear off the wasp nest under your porch and put your new batteries in the speakers, since every anchor is now locked up behind Tentacle Tentai that is trying to rip off the speaker's battery. Let does the anomaly know that they're probably cable connected. This part requires serious communication and a lot of teamwork, needing you to go around with your team in less than 8 minutes, deal with the infestation yourself, taking you a total of 15 seconds per anchor decorruption. However, if you have the serious condition of Payday 2 player, then the game will offer you a grace period and only infect 3 anchors out of 5. To make you think your job in the game 8 minutes your grace easier.
Warning, communications intercepted. Communication intercepted.
Ah, finally, we made it through. Predictable, really. The LF sure is quite easy to breach. Watching them stumble into our trap was almost disappointing. Now that contact has been established, however, understand this clearly. You no longer possess the luxury of choice. You will complete the simulation, and survival is the only likely outcome. Provided you remain cooperative. You may address me as the director. Or don't. Titles are for the insecure, and your opinion matters fuck all. A courtesy then, something your current handlers have failed to spectacularly provide, is information. The people you work for have elected you to keep ignorant, fed scraps and half-truths, as if that were sufficient. We, on the other hand, prefer transparency, especially when recruitment is on the table. Consider this an invitation. You may continue serving a broken, godforsaken organization that sees you as expendable, or you may align yourself with us. The correct decision should be self-evident. So, I welcome you to hell. 80 is up. Restock.
80. Camp, maybe camp the room where D is for 80? I don't know, it has enough space.
Becky, dříve známý jako Evan Kobayashi, běžně známý jako Gyro z Limbusu, zaživa byl mistrovským kuchařem, ale také silným kuřákem. Jeho závislost je patrná i po jeho smrti. Pro vašeho technika je jako bulldozer, pokud na něj není řádně připraven. Jejich schopnost odrážet cokoliv je už sama o sobě dost zlá a jejich rychlost útoků lze popsat jen jako lobotomizující. Na druhou stranu jsou pomalí jako šnek a se správným vybavením se dá snadno vypořádat. Buďte trpěliví při poražení takové bestie. Kurva, už se s tím После нападения Бэккея с Идой II, Джинки, ранее известная как Витилий, более известная как Аяно Айси, она была самой тяжелой выпивохой и смогла сравниться с самим элайпистом в выпивании галлона молока. При жизни она была апатичной убийцей, которая улыбалась при виде смерти многих. И это ясно проявилось после ее гибели от шипов. Она быстрая и хаотичная тараканоподобная тварь, которая залезет вам в голову своей скоростью. Ее способностью доминировать над вами, сравнив с квокером из величайшего шутера Атами, когда-либо созданного человека. Причина ее силы в том, что удары в спину наносят истинный урон.
After GNK's flanking comes the third, Lin Gayu, formerly known as Avery Zhao, commonly known as Goose. Before dying to an enemy spy, she was a profound hater. Comparable to the likes of low-tier god, she was a formidably bad cooker, being the reason for most of her injuries aside from fighting and the many fire-related incidents inside the AOF. Her sleeper build is also translated very well into their dead form in the shape of a charge rush aimed straight at you. It deals small damage over very wide areas and can destroy equipment easily. This, however, has a large cooldown and can be exploited. Keep your distance and exploit its inability to warp through the dark plane. However, be cautious of their ability to close in.
When you get to hell, tell them Viper sent.
Après la couleur de Liangyu vient le quatrième, Gensai, anciennement connu sous le prénom de Preston Bradley, plus couramment appelé Raiden. Il
souffrait officiellement de TDAH et de multiples épisodes d'activités aléatoires injustifiables. Il possédait un vaste arsenal d'armes et avait été signalé pour une suractivité accentuée avant la prise de médicaments, avant de succomber à une mort indolore. Mouvements rapides, agiles et incontrôlés sont facilement reconnaissables grâce à des coups de lame fulgurants. Capables d'infliger des lourds dégâts aux mercenaires isolés s'ils ne sont pas neutralisés rapidement. Ils représentent une énorme source d'épuisement et d'endurance qui vous prépare au prochain affrontement. En raison de sa faiblesse, c'est celui qui est le plus facile à éliminer en termes de santé.
Dopo l'attacco implacabile di Gensai arriva il quinto, Shuan, precedentemente noto come James Six, comunemente conosciuto come Leon. Era il leader della squadra e il più anziano di tutti e sei. Nonostante fosse un gigante gentile e un uomo dall'aspetto responsabile, il suo conto in banca era un tempo incredibilmente buono, conseguenza della sua dipendenza dal gioco d'azzardo. Questo, insieme alla volontà di difendere sua figlia, si manifesta anche nella sua controparte di attività, nella quale la mobilità viene sacrificata in cambio di un totale del 95% di danno pari alla tua salute. Mantenere le distanze ed eliminare questa minaccia il più rapidamente possibile è la tua priorità assoluta.
Master 8 comes to last. Kojiro, formerly known as Lucas Knight, commonly known as Genji Shimada, is a very agile swordsman who was the ultimate definition of sloth. Being a shut-in gamer for most of his free time, it's a miracle that their body hadn't collapsed from sodium intake. However, their excellency in strategy shows even after self-sacrifice, they're capable of landing a critical hit with their blade, capable of dealing huge amounts of damage, even easily killing armored mercs. His agility, however, betrays his resistance, rendering him unable to withstand powerful attacks, easy to deal with by focusing on fire.
Alright. Try to research that. Alright.
Scrub out this hotel!
You're right.
Warning. Locking simulation.
Auto-vote.
Rise and shine. You're coming with us.